Satnam, everyone. Welcome again to our program, Your Miracle Mantra Moment. And I expect that people will be joining us throughout the program. So please, as you join the program, please put your name in the chat and let us know where you're from and say hi. We'd like to get an idea of who's here. And we are starting this program up. Kiran Deepkar, welcome back. Yes, I expect there will be several people who have been regulars in the earlier programs that we did in this series. So welcome to those who are coming again. And also, I want to welcome any new people who are attending. Mahan Sangeet, welcome. And I want to let you know that we are going to do on this program similar format that we were doing before. After a few minutes, I'll start the chanting of the Shabad, Dandan Ramdas Guru. And then we will talk for a while and take questions too. So I will not be really reading any questions until after the Shabad. But if you have any that you are thinking about, please feel free to put them in now or wait until after the Shabad is finished and then pop them in the chat. Will be great. I want to tell you about how we're going to be moving forward. We took a break with these programs and the other program that I was doing on Fridays, which was the Home Kirtan Chat program. And so we're bringing both these programs back. Excuse me. But we're going to be not doing them every week. We're going to be alternating with a few other newer programs that you'll be excited, I think, by. So I'm going to tell you in more detail about those programs near the end of this program. Just letting you know that we're going to be alternating. So next week, we're going to be in this same time slot. We're going to be doing a program called Learn a Shabad. And I'm going to be going through, several simple Shabads to begin with. And then we can move on to more complicated Shabads later. So if you are a budding Kirtani and would like to learn some Shabads, I will show you the words. We'll get used to the words and how to pronounce them. And then also, I'll show you how to play it on a harmonium. We may, if there's any interest, may do a program around playing Shabads on a guitar. We could do that too. But I'm going to focus initially on the harmonium. So if that's something that interests you or you know someone who's interested in learning, and even though we'll be starting at a fairly basic level, people who may already be playing Shabads may find it interesting to connect, because I'll probably along the way drop some advice on things about ways to approach the playing of Kirtan, especially in Gurdwara, and the protocols and the appropriateness of what you do in those moments. And then also, talk about how you play Kirtan in homes, when you're just gathering as friends or family to sing a Shabad, and how that works. So anyway, let's hope my voice keeps up after a long time of not doing these programs. But anyway, so that's what we're going to do. We're going to start out by singing or chanting this Shabad. And Kiran Deep has, I believe, already, I don't have my glasses on, has already put the Shabad in the, let's see, in the chat. Yes. So there it is. And if you would like to chant along, that would be great. There are two ways that I talk about doing this. You can simply meditate in any position, perhaps with your eyes closed if you know the words, or you can keep them open to see the words. I assure you I won't be doing anything elaborate, so you can rest assured that you won't miss anything if you close your eyes. And then the second way to do this Shabad is to do it as a meditation where there's a mudra. So you take your right thumb up in the air, and you wrap your left hand around it like a fist, but not too tight, just gently. And then you take your right fingers and put them up across or around the back of your left hand. So you can see it's comfortable, easy to do. Let me do it again. So right thumb up, left hand around it, and then right fingers up along the back. And you just hold it gently near your heart center, near the center of your chest, and your elbows are comfortable and relaxed at your side. And your eyes can be closed, or they could be 1/10 open, focused at the tip of your nose. So when you do meditation like that with these sacred words, this Shabad, this mantra, then it's about releasing the fear of the future. And, you know, as we all can attest, this is a time that no one has ever lived through like this before. And so if you feel a little anxiety about what's going on in the world and what you're not able to do maybe right now, then this meditation will help you feel connected and grounded with a sense of acceptance and hope. So you may find that useful. So here we go. We'll start, and please join along. Sorry. Tanna, 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 Ramadas Guru. Tanna, tanna, Ramadas Guru. Jinn Siriya Tene Savariya, Jinn Siriya Tene Savariya. Tanna, 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 Ramadas Guru. Tanna, tanna, Ramadas Guru, Ramadas Guru. Puri hoi karmat apsir jan hare dariya. Puri hoi karmat apsir jan hare dariya. Sikh आते संगति पर ब्रह्म कर नाम सकारिया. सिक्की आते संगति पर ब्रह्म कर नाम सकारिया. पर ब्रह्म कर नाम सकारिया. par Brahm kar naam sakariya. Tan 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 Ramdas Guru. Tan tan Ramdas Guru. Jin Siriya Tene Savariya. Jin Siriya Tene Savariya. Tan 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 Ramdas Guru. Tan tan Ramdas Guru. Ramdas Guru. Atal ataho atol to tera antan parvariya. Atal ataho atol to tera antan parvariya. Jinni tu seviya vakar se tun par utariya. Jinni tu seviya vakar se tun par utariya. Se tun par utariya. Se tun par utariya. Tan 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 Ramdas Guru. Tan tan Ramdas Guru. Jin Siriya Tene Savariya. Jin Siriya Tene Savariya. Tan 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 Ramdas Guru. Tan tan Ramdas Guru. Ramdas Guru. Lamb lob काम क्रोध मोह मन कदे तुन सपार वारिया लांब लोभ काम क्रोध मोह मन कदे तुन सपार वारिया तन सो तेरा तान है सच तेरा पैसकारिया तन सो तेरा तन है सच तेरा पैसकारिया सच तेरा पैसकारिया सच तेरा पैसकारिया तन 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 रमता संगुरु तन तन रमता संगुरु जिन सिरिया तिन सवारिया जिन सिरिया तिन सवारिया तन 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 रमता संगुरु तन तन रमता संगुरु रमता संगुरु नानक तू लहना तू है गुरु अमृत विचारिया नानक तू लहना तू है गुरु अमृत विचारिया गुरु दिता मन सदारिया गुरु दिता मन सदारिया गुरु दिता मन सदारिया गुरु दिता मन सदारिया तन 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 रमता संगुरु तन तन रमता संगुरु जिन सिरिया तिन सवारिया जिन सिरिया तिन सवारिया तन 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 रमता संगुरु ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕਾ ਖਾਲਸਾ ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕੀ ਫਤਿਹ Okay, Satnam everyone, thank you for joining. Thank you for chanting along. Yeah, that's better. So let me move in my computer a little closer. Let's see. So we have quite a few people joining us. That's great. Kirpal Singh, welcome back. Judith. Um, Paul, I'm not sure I've seen you before, but welcome. And Victor, welcome. Lillian, I think you've been here before. Sat Kirtan, of course. Flory, yes. Satnam. Deva Haradeep Singh. Okay, I think I remember you. I'm not sure from previous programs. Anyway, all good. So this is the time when we talk a little, and so I'm really hoping that some of you may have some questions, because what I want to talk about is Guru Ram Das and why do we celebrate this occasion in our community, in our Kundalini Yoga, Sikh Dharma community around the world. Why is this occasion a particularly important time? So I'm going to talk a little bit about that, but if you have questions about it, please put them in the chat. And, I've talked in the previous programs, I've talked a lot about Guru Ram Das, about his history, his personal history, being born in very humble situation. His parents both died when he was very young. And then by 7, he was living with his maternal grandmother. And they were not well off. So he didn't have any conveniences, like, or benefits of what normally back then wealth might have given you. So I doubt that he attended classes, school. He may have learned from his grandmother, reading and writing perhaps, but with little money, the family had few resources. Later in his childhood, his grandmother moved the two of them to be close to where Guru Amar Das was living at that time. And during that time, young Ram Das, who in his youth was just known by the name Jetta, and so he would listen to Guru Amar Das, and I imagine become very inspired by Guru Amar Das, and he would serve in the community, and he became recognized as someone who would serve whenever need was there. And so later, then as he became a young adult, he was married to the daughter of Guru Amar Das. And so his situation was elevated considerably. And but he still did a lot of seva and would always attend to whatever the needs of Guru Amar Das might be as well, and listen to Guru Amar Das, who would speak and recite what we call Gurbani, Shabads. And so young Jetta grew more and more under the eye of Guru Amar Das. So that as time went on, more and more responsibilities were given to who was now named Ram Das, to young Ram Das. And eventually he was tasked with the duty to go and find some land, some distance from where they were living, that had natural pool of water that could be then built into a contained body of water. Having water in early civilization was really important. Having water in India was very important at that time. Being able to have a place where people could get fresh drinking water, but also for bathing and all the usual uses that we might have for water, cooking and everything. And so Ram Dass did this, and he found a place, and it later grew into what we now call Amritsar. And of course, this was where he established the seat of authority for the Sikhs, and he laid the groundwork for the building of what we now call the Golden Temple, Hari Mandir Sahib. Even though it was really Guru Arjan, the next Guru, who really built that temple, um, still Guru Ram Das started the community, um, created the tank within which the temple was to sit, the tank of water. So Guru Ram Das, was known for the service, of course, but he also embodied humility more than most. There are many people we may know who are humble, and we are often touched by that when we see it in someone, or we are proud of it when we see someone doing something with humility that may be in our family or but there are those souls, those people who you encounter very occasionally, who seem to embody that humility in a much more complete way, in a very deep way. And this would be as close as we can think of to what Guru Ram Das probably was like when you might encounter him. Or if we were living back in that time when we were to encounter him. Even though he had a very elevated status before he became Guru still, he was very humble. And then later, when he rose to be recognized as Guru after Guru Amar Das had passed, he still embodied such a sense of humility. And in fact, he continued to try as much as he could to do seva and serve people. Of course, it was harder when people knew that he was the Guru. They wouldn't let him, So he devised a strategy where he would change his clothes and put on, very humble clothing, not the clothing he would normally wear as Guru, and kind of disguise himself, and then go out into the town and help people, especially travelers, people who might need food, place to sleep. They might need care of some kind. Then he would be there to try to help them. So it was apparently, the story is that it was many a traveler who later were surprised the next day, perhaps, when they were given an audience with Guru Ram Das to see the same face of the Guru that they had seen the night before, helping them with their arrangements and feeding them, and thinking at the time it was just a humble Sevadar, but then later realizing that that was the Guru coming to help them. So that sense of stepping outside yourself, outside your own circumstances, outside your own benefits, your own entitlement that you might be given, being able to put that all aside and see yourself in the eyes of the other, to empathize with that experience and do what you can to serve it, to help them, to help those others. And isn't that just exactly what we need more of today? So many of the difficulties we see in our life and in the world right now could be so much better if more people embodied a sense of humility as they did their work, as they just went about their life. That was the other thing about Guru Ram Das, was that Um, there certainly were plenty of examples of people walking a spiritual tradition in India. India is full of spiritual traditions. Almost for as many people as there are, there's a different tradition. And you see holy men everywhere, you know, sadhus, people who have decided to renounce their lives in the world and just practice, and they wander and they do pilgrimage. And, you know, it has some value. I'm not demeaning it. I'm not intending to demean it. But here was Guru Ram Das. And in fact, from the teachings of Guru Nanak onward, we see that the path of the Sikh is about being able to embody that kind of deep spirituality, that deep humility, and still be a householder, still be in this world, take care of those around you, serve the needs of your family. Um, and and I think that to many of us, that example is something that we can call on during this time. For as we all take this time in during COVID-19 time to really maybe reevaluate some of the choices in our life. And there are lots of things to get angry about, lots of people that we want to judge. It feels good to blame others for something. But if we can look at the life of Guru Ram Das, the example of Guru Ram Das, and during this time at least, try to remember him each day. And then by remembering him, maybe we embody some aspect of that, you know, that humility, that service, that sense of serving people. It's really what we as a community are given an opportunity to do during these days that we celebrate. October 9th is the day that we celebrate his actual birth. And, you know, there's a little bit of a kerfuffle, I'll call it, not really a controversy, around the date of his birth, because some people use the lunar calendar that is often used in India for celebrating dates. But when you do that, then these annual observances keep moving around a lot, and it gets really hard to sort of come together as a community and celebrate together on a particular date when the date changes every year. So SGPC, which is the governing body of the Sikhs in India, decided a while back that they would fix on this October 9th. And we have, in the West, we have also adopted that as our annual celebration, even though perhaps some years it aligns with the lunar calendar and sometimes it doesn't. It's the day we choose to observe and celebrate the life of Guru Ram Das. So during these days leading up to it, a lot of communities have chanting in the evening, chanting this Shabad that we just did. And you can find out more information about this on Sikh Dharma International's website. Perhaps you've been already receiving some emails from us about the celebrations that are ongoing. And then we have this tradition on the morning of Guru Ram Das's actual birthday, or the day we actually celebrate it, to, in our morning sadhana time in the Amrit Vela, to chant this Shabad continuously for 2.5 hours. And there are several communities around the world that gather to do this, or people do it in their homes. And there's some online resources for you if you want to tune into where some people are gathered and doing that on the 9th. And I hope you'll consider it. It's a beautiful practice. So I wanted to draw that to your attention. And now I'm going to take a quick look in the chat and see if we have any particular questions. So give me just a sec. All right, so I'm moving my computer in here so I can see. So Hargo Palkar, thank you for your question. Let me put it up on the screen. So she's saying, how were his, meaning I guess Guru Ram Das, Shabads that ended up in the Siddhi Guru Granth Sahib captured? Did people memorize them? Did disciples write them down? Yeah, so this is a really good question. So even going back as far as Guru Nanak, there was a recording, a written recording of the compositions. Guru Nanak traveled with what people call a poti. It was like a notebook that he had written down his earlier compositions, and they would be added to as new ones arrived. And this was true later going on with the other of the gurus, that they would write them down. Sometimes it would be someone else would write them down. Like for Guru Nanak, the story is that his companion, by Mardana, who played the rabab, he was a Muslim musician that traveled everywhere with Guru Nanak, that he wrote them down. And that may be the case. I'm not sure it makes much difference who wrote them. And then, of course, later, at the time of Guru Arjan, then Guru Arjan started to pull these various documents together, written documents. And there were some compositions that were held by other people, family members, descendants of some of the earlier gurus, that then Guru Arjan would go and request to have access to those as well. And so then they got combined into what Guru Arjan created, which was called the Adi Granth. And it was a composition, a compilation, of all the Bani, all the compositions of the earlier gurus, and compositions of Guru Arjan himself. And that is what was passed down. And then Guru Hargobind did not add to it, nor Guru Harai or Guru Harkrishan. But Guru Teg Bahadur, the ninth Guru, composed beautiful Banis. And so by the time Guru Gobind Singh, the 10th Guru, by that time, Guru Gobind Singh established that the writings of Guru Teg Bahadur, who was his father, should be added to the Adi Granth. And they are, in fact, at the end of what we now call the Siddhi Guru Granth Sahib. So this was added along with Rag Mala, which is a short composition at the end. And so now that became known as the Siddhi Guru Granth Sahib. And at some point then, as Guru Gobind Singh knew that his life was coming to an end, he had been wounded in an attack, and he realized that the Guru, the energy of the Guru, the light of the Guru that had passed from Guru Nanak through 9 other humans to be there embodied in Guru Gobind Singh. Guru Gobind Singh realized, or maybe they knew all along, that this was the point at which the embodiment of that light needed to go back, no longer in a human form, but into the form of the Shabad Guru. Because ultimately that's where it began, when Guru Nanak was asked who was his Guru, and he said the word, the Shabad Guru. So from that sound current, is the source of Guru Nanak's enlightenment. And that light passed all the way to Guru Gobind Singh, who then declared at his passing, then that light would reside in the word again, and that all Sikhs should look to the Sri Guru Granth Sahib for that source of light, of inspiration, guidance, wisdom. But it's awkward sometimes to talk about the Sri Guru Granth Sahib because people see it as a book. It can, be printed and many copies can be made. How can that book be the Guru? But you see, it's not the book. It's the sound current of the words that are in the book. So the Guru arrives as we chant these sounds aloud. It's an amazing miracle. It's not that the Guru is somehow in those actual pages. No. The Guru is in the sound current that is there as we read, as we chant, as we recite. That's where the energy of the Guru is embodied. And we feel it as we chant, and especially as we chant together, as we embody the energy in a sangat, then the Guru arrives. And so we respect the written word of the Guru and give it a lot of the same respect and devotion that we might if the Guru was still in human form. But ultimately we know that really what the Guru is more subtle, more not on a physical plane. The Guru is beyond form. And so anyway, I talked more about your question than maybe you were looking for, but I hope that answers the question. I'm just looking to see if anyone has any other questions. Welcome, Paul and Jasbir Singh. Let's see. All right. Well, so I'm going to talk a little bit about our upcoming programs, since nobody seems to have any other questions about Guru Ram Das. And I want to wish you all a happy Guru Ram Das's birthday. I hope to see you next week, which will be before the 9th, but we won't do this program next week. So next week we're going to be doing a program called Learn a Shabad. And I talked about this at the beginning of the program, but I'll just touch on it again. So we're going to, I'm going to show you the words to a simple Shabad, short, not long. And we're going to do the Shabad that is associated with Guru Ram Das because of during this time. Ik Ardas Bhataki Rataki Guru Ram Das Rako Saranai. And this is a Shabad that was composed by a lesser known poet in the time of Guru Arjan, well, maybe in the time of Guru Ram Das / Guru Arjan. And it was recognized to be very meaningful by Guru Arjan, who then included that in the Sri Guru Granth Sahib. And this Shabad Ik Das is one prayer I ask of you, Guru Ram Das, to please take care of me. So we'll talk about that. We'll go through the words. We'll look at the meaning. And then I'll show you how to play one melody on the harmonium. And I'm going to try to use 2 cameras for that, so that there'll be an overhead shot of my fingers on the keyboard. And I'll also share my screen so that you can see the words. So it's going to be quite a little bit more multimedia than usual. And I hope I succeed at doing all that. I wish I had a tech person here on site to do all those things with me, but nonetheless, I will endeavor to do my best, and hopefully Guru Ram Das will grace us with success. So that is my program for next week. And I want to go through the schedule just so that you understand what is coming up in subsequent weeks. And I have to just move aside something here so I can see the schedule. All right, so as I said, October 7th, we'll have the program Learn a Shabad. Then on October 14th, I'm going to do the program that we've done before, Home Kirtan and Chat. It's an interview and music program. And I haven't had confirmation on this, but I'm hoping my guests will be a Kirtan group out of Germany whose name is Maradana. And they're wonderful, and they play beautiful music. So they'll share some music, and then we'll talk with them about the Shabad that they are going to share with us, and we'll talk about their music. And so that'll be on the 14th of October. Then on the 21st of October, I'm going to be starting a program called The Roots of Sikh Dharma. And this will be kind of a class, but there'll be Q&A. So I'm going to start out with a kind of overview of Sikh Dharma. This is especially geared toward people who are new to Sikh Dharma or who have only somewhat basic understanding and would like to expand and get more depth. So we'll start out the first time with a kind of overview, and then the subsequent weeks that we do that particular module of Roots of Sikh Dharma, I'll get into the history of Sikh Dharma, looking at the various gurus, and hopefully we'll take it all the way up to the current time with the Sikh Dharma history. And then, that'll take us into December, probably the new year. We'll be looking at understanding various concepts within Sikh Dharma teachings and philosophy and practices. So that's, to me, that's a very exciting program. I hope you'll get something out of that and share it with people who you know who might be interested. On the 28th of October, we'll come back and we'll do another, like today, Miracle Mantra moment, where we'll chant Dandan Ramdas Guru. And I'm going to be talking about specifically how to connect to a prayer with Guru Ramdas and how that works, embodying that prayer, manifesting that prayer through Guru Ramdas. And then, let's see, then on the 4th of November, we'll do a different Shabad, and I'm thinking about doing the Shabad Ditte Sabetav, which is a Shabad written by Guru Ramdas. And then on the 18th of November, on the 11th of November, we're going to do a new program that we haven't done yet. It's called Dialogues in Dharma. And I haven't got my guests lined up yet, but I'm confident that I will. And at the moment, the working title for that week will be Sikhs and Depression in the Time of COVID. So, talking how to understand depression, how to cope through technology within Sikh Dharma. So that's what that topic will be about, and I'm hoping to bring in some interesting guests on that. And then the 18th of November will be our second installment of the Roots of Sikh Dharma, and that's where I'll start with getting into the Sikh history. We'll start definitely with Guru Nanak. We may get a little further. We'll see. And then with the Thanksgiving holiday coming up in that time, I'm going to take 2 weeks off. So we won't have a program for the 25th or December 2nd. And then we'll start back up in December, on December 9th, with a Miracle Mantra moment again. And the focus then will be about how do you stay connected to that energy of Guru Ramdas. And then the 16th of December will be Learn a Shabad. And then the 23rd will be an interview program. And the 30th will be roots of Sikh Dharma and continuing, it'll be part 2 on Sikh history. So that gives you kind of a rundown of all the various programs that are upcoming. So I'm hoping that some of that interests you. And I'm making this program an hour, so you know. All our programs were up 45 minutes, and I've decided to go a little longer to give us more time to talk, to take questions. And consequently, I'm going to take this question from Sept Kaur, who is saying, I'd love to hear from you, or I'll put it up on the screen. I'd love to hear from you how we can use the energy of Guru Ram Das in our daily life. Or in our I think that's what she means. Would there still be time to reflect on that? And there is time to reflect on that. So it's a bit of what I was talking about earlier in terms of connecting to compassion, humility. Yeah, I was talking about humility more than compassion. But I think without humility, perhaps one doesn't totally connect to compassion deeply. So Guru Ram Das is that's that embodiment, that example, that inspiration of humility and compassion and service. So bringing it into our daily lives, I think, is exactly that. I mean, I don't know, Satkirtan, what your daily morning practice might be, but you could consider perhaps incorporating something special, maybe at least during this time of leading up to the birthday of Guru Ram Das. Maybe reciting this Shabad 11 times or for 11 minutes, or chanting the mantra Guru Guru Vai Guru Guru Ram Das Guru 11 times, 11 minutes or more, as a way to set the space to allow that embodiment of Guru Ram Das to arrive. You know, I've talked about this next part also previously, and maybe you've heard it, but as we call on, as we reach out in the ethers to connect to Guru Ram Das, it may be that for you, it works to visualize him somewhere on another dimension and connecting through time and space to that energy. But it's also just fine if you visualize this Guru Ram Das as being an archetype that you can construct, allow to arrive within you, that this is something that we can reinforce within us. That as we identify, well, what aspect of ourself sort of feels a bit like Guru Ram Das. So, there it is. So now let's nurture that. Let's bring that more forward. Let's strengthen it. Let's understand it clearly enough so we can align with it. We feel resolute in our commitment to it. That's how I would say that you could feel a stronger connection to Guru Ram Das on a daily basis. Maybe someone has another idea, they can put it in the chat, but I think those two ways that, you either reach out as a bodhisattva, as an embodiment of spiritual purity in the ethers, and you form a connection to that energy. That's fine. Or you can build it within yourself. And maybe the third option is some kind of combination of those two. So, and there may be others, and I don't mean to judge others, not any other process not being as good as another. I'm just saying these are 2 ways, maybe 3 ways that I see myself working with that energy. And so, as I chanted these words today, that's what I was feeling, as I was feeling the resonance of that vibration within myself that was growing, was strengthening, was becoming more and more manifest, more and more embodied. So that's what I'm hoping that you can take away from today. And Pav Singh, good to see you again. Pav Singh says, Aung San Waheguru, the dynamic, loving energy of the infinite source of all is dancing within every cell. Yeah, so that's a translation. The quotation is a translation of Aung San Waheguru. And that's a great thing to hold on to all the time. But certainly that's pretty much what I was talking about in terms of connecting to Guru Ramdas. You bring it into every cell. You feel that embodiment with you inside. And the more you do it, the more it's there for you. So I think it's very useful that we talked about this. So thank you all for your questions today. They were very well focused and very meaningful for this time. So I think you should all look for upcoming emails about my programs that are going to be happening every Wednesday for 8 weeks, and then we take a break. So I'm going to say thank you to Kin and Deep for posting the Shabad, and all of you for, I'll be very grateful if you'll share this program out with others, and we can start to build more people coming to these programs. It is available on both Facebook and YouTube now. So each of these programs every week will afterwards, they'll be available in the videos section of Facebook, our Facebook page, Sikh Dharma International. And also it'll be on the Sikh Dharma International YouTube channel. And so you can check it out there. You can. Some people don't want to be on Facebook, so you can refer them to the YouTube video. And Satgit, I'm glad that it resonates within you, what I said. That's great. So I'm glad we're able to address that for you. And everybody else that's here, thank you again for coming. We're going to wrap it up here. Please do like this and share it, and I will see you next week for Learn a Shabad. And if it's not something you want, that's okay, but maybe there's somebody you know who might like to start down that road of being able to sing Shabads themselves. I believe everyone is a musician. Everybody has the ability. Some just, need a little more encouragement, that's all. So you don't need to worry about being on screen. You're not going to be. But we will take questions just like this. And so I think that wraps it up. Again, thank you all for being here. And stay healthy, stay safe, and be great. And I'll see you next week. Waheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Waheguru Ji Ki Fateh. Satnam. Blessings.